Death outpaces births. Is China hiding a mass mortality crisis? 25 millions stop consuming. Jobless sleep on streets. Middle class crumbles in Shanghai. Climate crisis explodes. Lightning, snow, drought, and floods ravage mainland China. What if one of the world's most populous countries is quietly shrinking, and no one's allowed to talk about it? From ghost towns to overcrowded funeral homes, a chilling silence is spreading across China. Official numbers say 1.4 billion people still live there. But what if the real story is who's no longer there? It's hard to believe, isn't it? China, once bustling with people, now feels eerily empty. Back in the 1995 census, when the population was under 1.2 billion, rural roads were packed, and city streets teemed with people like it was a festival. Train and bus stations were so crowded, you could barely move. But today, the streets are empty, and the countryside feels deserted. How can a country this vast still claim to have 1.4 billion people? It's almost unbelievable. So, where has everyone gone? Whether in urban centers or remote villages, there's a visible and growing absence of people. One major factor, the ongoing waves of epidemic outbreaks. Despite government attempts to downplay the situation, hospitals in many regions have remained overcrowded for years. Numerous citizens have reported the deaths of family and friends, many of them young and previously healthy. The death rate has already peaked. I thought it would take 5 or 10 more years, but on a 310-mile drive to Changsha for business, I counted 17 funerals and only one wedding. That's a 17-to-1 ratio. Funerals everywhere. Our village has entered a fast lane of elderly deaths. 15 have passed away recently, and more are waiting at the gates of hell, as they say. My father, counting those likely to die in 2024, was shocked. It's the highest in years. Funeral homes are overwhelmed. In some regions, grieving families reportedly have to offer red envelopes just to secure cremation slots. The surge in demand has led to the cancellation of traditional farewell ceremonies. On February 16, 2025, Sohu.com published an article that sparked a nationwide uproar. Citing newly updated census data, it revealed that by the end of 2024, the survival rate for people born in the 1980s had fallen to just 94.8%, a mortality rate of 5.2%. That translates to more than 10 million deaths among a generation, once 223 million strong. Alarmingly, the death rate for those born in the 1970s is even lower. Chinese authorities have attempted to dismiss the claims, but a funeral home worker shared a troubling first-hand account. In the past year or two, I've noticed a sharp increase in deaths among people born in the 80s and 90s. Besides natural elderly deaths, we're seeing many young people dying of chronic illness or sudden heart failure. I was just reviewing our records, and the numbers don't lie. A netizen in Beijing echoed similar concerns. I had 100 classmates from elementary to technical school. I didn't repeat a grade. Now around 5% are gone. I was born after 1985. Some classmates died in their 30s or early 40s. No obvious cause. My colleague, born in 1982, said the same. If we average it out, the death rate might even exceed 5%. Multiple viruses continue to circulate across mainland China. Despite official claims that 99% of recent cases are seasonal flu, many suspect recurring COVID-19 outbreaks. Hospitals in Beijing, Shanghai, and beyond are again overcrowded. Crematoriums report long lines, and with growing rumors that nearly 12 million people born in the 1980s have died, the state's efforts to suppress information are ramping up. But the signs are clear. From empty streets to sparsely populated villages, China's demographic crisis is no longer just statistical. It's becoming visible to the naked eye. A vanishing population, rising death tolls, and a government too afraid to admit the truth. China is confronting a demographic cliff masked by silence. If the backbone of a nation, its working-age population, is quietly collapsing, what happens next? Sometimes, what's missing tells the loudest story. As China's most prosperous city, Shanghai once epitomized economic success. But this year, even here, the undercurrent of struggle runs deep, and the truth may surprise you. The overall environment in Shanghai this year has hit rock bottom. Today, I met an old friend who works in a state-owned enterprise handling advertising and investment. He told me his income has plunged. Last year's salary was over 100,000 yuan, yet that was still 20% below previous years. Pay cuts like this are now commonplace. It's 10 a.m. on a Saturday, and I went to the RT Mart next door. The elevator was empty, just me. At 10 a.m., this supermarket stood nearly deserted. Prices on the racks are rock bottom. People are cutting back everywhere, from malls to grocery aisles. Even street stall prices are undercutting supermarkets. I've taken to odd jobs delivering takeout. I can't make enough from food delivery alone, so I do whatever work I can find. I've stopped renting. I sleep under this bridge with water and electricity, alongside delivery riders, college students, and day laborers. No car loan, no mortgage. I earn, I spend on myself, and I find happiness in my freedom. Hey, what do you do? Brother, I am a wanderer. You're a wanderer? Yes. How can you, a wanderer, live here? I passed by this bridge hole. It shelters me from wind and rain. Where are you from, young man? I came from Jiangxi. Jiangxi? Yes, over 4,000 kilometers away. What's wrong, brother? You treat this place as home. I've been sleeping here for days. You can't live here, young man. Then I have nowhere to go. What have you eaten? I eat some white flour. For many drifters, Shanghai's end may mean returning home. This year has been the toughest on employment. Fresh graduates can't find jobs, and seasoned workers are being laid off. The unemployment wave is overwhelming. Even Shanghai's famed pedestrian streets are empty on a Sunday. If this were a smaller city, perhaps it'd be expected, but this is China's economic hub. With 1.4 billion people nationwide, consumption here should roar. So where is everyone? Shopping malls, streets, plazas, lifeless. It no longer feels like an international metropolis. In one Shanghai community of 120 households, 56 are unemployed, a far cry from the official 4.2% rate. Empty offices, closed malls, even elite graduates drive taxis or deliver food. In 2025, most laid-off workers won't qualify for benefits. Is the Great Migration back to the countryside already underway? Today at noon, I saw migrant workers fixing the roadside. They rested on the curb. My chest ached. I couldn't hold back tears. These workers endure relentless hardship. With China's economic slowdown, my company first canceled year-end bonuses, then froze raises, and finally slashed salaries. By 2025, my monthly pay will be 40% less than 9 years ago. My dream of middle-class life shattered. Now, even basic needs are a struggle. I traded a luxury Lujiazui apartment for a rundown Minhang flat and rode the subway each day, living frugally, yet still barely getting by. Netizens say Shanghai's collapse isn't just economic, it's a collapse of hope. The cause? Not only the pandemic or global headwinds, but an authoritarian system that has stifled innovation and vitality. One Shanghai netizen revealed more than 70% of Fudan University's class of 2025 can't find suitable jobs. Those lucky enough to work earn 5,000 to 6,000 yuan, insufficient even to rent a shared bed. Years of study end in exhaustion as society grinds them down. And this isn't unique to Shanghai. It's the story of every first-tier city in China. This isn't merely a consumption downgrade, it's an extreme downgrade. Compared to last year, many stores report 30% drops in revenue. An estimated 60% of small business owners may not survive 2025. Look at Hangzhou stations, streams of people returning home after failing to find work. Once, 5 workers shared 10 bowls of rice. Now, 10 share 2. On Hangzhou's Wulin Road, shops change hands daily. Future consumption, only deeper cuts. Shanghai, the city of dreams, now stands at an economic crossroads. Empty streets, jobless graduates, and shuttered shops paint a stark picture. Prosperity isn't guaranteed. As hope erodes, the question echoes across China's bustling metros. Will the revival come, or is this the beginning of a new era of scarcity? In China this May, skies have raged with dragon-like thunder, streets have turned to rivers, and fields have baked under record heat. Yet no one can recall a spring like this. Let's uncover what these extremes might really mean. At approximately 3 a.m. on May 22nd, intense thunderstorms and torrential rains struck Wuhan, Hubei province. The sky turned an eerie shade of purple, and loud thunderclaps jolted many residents awake. One netizen remarked, "There may be a dragon in this weather." While there's no sign of dragons, by morning many Wuhan streets resembled canals more than avenues, so much so that residents joked the city had turned into a seaside resort. I came to Wuhan to go to the beach. I came to Wuhan to go to the beach. But for some, the flooding was no joke. Major roads were impassable, with cars stranded and workers forced to wade through deep water just to get to their jobs. Even Wuchang railway station was inundated. Stranded passengers sought higher ground within the building. They repair these streets every year, yet they flood regardless. Wuhan's high-profile Sponge City project, designed to absorb stormwater and prevent flooding at a cost of hundreds of millions, was undone by just one storm. At Jianghan University, floodwaters surged through the campus. There's a flood. There's a flood. Run for your life. Run for your life. In one Wuhan kindergarten, the floodwater reached waist height. A concerned parent used a rubber boat to rescue stranded children. Run slower. There's another person there. It's okay, kid. Do you want to stop? There are other kids over there. That's annoying. Elsewhere, a netizen captured a surreal scene. Heavy rain outside Wuhan People's Hospital and light drizzle inside. Meanwhile, a driver attempted to navigate a flooded culvert, risking his life. And despite the conditions, delivery drivers could still be seen pushing through on electric scooters. There was this much water during the 2018 floods. In China, natural disasters often reveal substandard infrastructure. After hours of unrelenting rain, a poorly constructed wall collapsed, crushing several cars. Oh my God. The Hubei Provincial Meteorological Bureau forecasts continued moderate to heavy rain through May 23rd, with torrential downpours expected in Wuhan, Jingzhou, Huangshi, and Xianing. Flooding was also reported in Taoyuan County, Changde City, Hunan Province. The water levels turned the region into a vast ocean. The water today is higher than yesterday. There's no end in sight. The house is flooded. There's a flood in my hometown. It rained heavily all night, and now my basement's underwater. The rain must stop. If it doesn't, we'll be in serious trouble. Local officials in Changde were accused of releasing floodwaters without warning, causing flash flooding in Guanyin Temple Town. This is the flood control department acting without notice. They released the water before any alert was issued. Everything in the shops collapsed like a landslide. The worst flood in history at the farmers' market in Hunan. In the chaos, some residents were left trapped. There are still 3 tenants who haven't come out yet. They can't. The water is still rising inside their room. This is so frustrating. In Guizhou province, severe rainfall hit Biji City on May 21st to 22nd. Villages, roads, and farmland were all flooded. From the evening of May 21st into the next morning, Dafang County saw over 150 millimeters of rain. Landslides occurred in several towns, burying homes and stranding villagers, some of whom shared tearful pleas for help. The village is flooded and all the crops are gone. How are we supposed to survive? Please help us. In Zunyi City, Guizhou Province, the rain began on the evening of May 21st. By the next morning, streets were underwater and cars submerged. Oh, it's really cruel. Zunan Avenue is completely flooded. I can't go out today. The Majiwan district of Zunyi was particularly hard hit, with shops inundated and extensive damage. One business owner commented, "We lost tens of thousands of dollars." Local residents were quick to voice their frustration. The sewage system in Zunyi needs repairs every month. They dig, fix, dig again. Just a constant cycle. People with power and connections use this as a way to make money. Unfortunately, the current flooding suggests the drainage systems remain inadequate. According to Guiyang Meteorological Observatory, from midnight to 8 a.m. on May 20th, the region experienced its most intense thunderstorm of the year, 13,596 lightning strikes in just 8 hours, with peak currents reaching nearly 193 kiloamperes. Videos posted online showed lightning carving strange patterns across the sky. The thunder, some said, sounded almost supernatural. May typically brings warm weather, yet on May 20th, snow fell in parts of northeast China. My friend, look, this is northeast China. It's less than 2 months until autumn begins, and it's snowing. Conversely, other areas are experiencing extreme heat. One widely circulated image showed temperatures reaching 40 degrees Celsius across northern China. From May 19th to 22nd, temperatures soared in Henan, Shandong, and Hebei provinces, peaking at 44 degrees Celsius. A netizen in Hubei shared footage showing vegetation wilting in record heat, nearly 2 months ahead of schedule. Taken together, these images paint a troubling picture. Natural disasters, heavy rains, floods, extreme heat, and even snow have arrived early and with unusual intensity across China. These anomalies are unsettling, especially in May, a time typically associated with renewal and mild weather. For many people, these extreme weather events aren't just odd storms. They feel like bad omens, similar to the signs people once saw before old Chinese empires collapsed. Now, with the ruling party seen as more and more out of touch, some are asking, is its time coming to an end too? From flooded railways to parched riverbeds, China's once predictable seasons are now unpredictable forces of nature. When the elements themselves break all rules, perhaps it's time to ask, what else in our world is overdue for change?